There's something that's coming up quite a lot is that this is an issue that's very much got to do with historical and present relationships between the global north and the global south, and like a relationship of exploitation and domination, and that we very much have a work cut out here to create international networks of solidarity. So I was wondering if you could talk about how international solidarity is figuring into both of your work.
It goes back to quickly to the earlier story that I was saying how so even certain democratic spaces, so in world we have certain orders, right? In we already know there is a global order of countries, systems, and the whole economy is embedded in such a way that we know, for example, that the lifestyle also in global north we can have is also the cause that the cheap production from China, cheap textiles from Bangladesh, India, all the extraction of minerals from Africa and Latin America. So these are all the things that we don't see the connections, but this is how it's being available, it's being possible that even the wages here, even with the same skill set, a engineer, a computer or a software engineer, what they would earn here, even with the same skill set, if he was in Bangladesh, they would earn less. So in terms of value, if you think that's why is that fair? But this is how global order and how the whole economy is embedded. It's being allowed. So in a certain way, so this is the way we live. It's a certain order that has been created over hundreds of years at costs of all these countries, of whole slave trade, all this extraction, minerals, all of this. So when we stop and think, that has allowed, that also what happens is, so it's bad. Of course, that's we didn't choose it, right? It was not our active, it was a lucky chance maybe in certain ways, what our predecessors did in Europe. But what we can do is be aware of this power. It also gives us certain powers, right? So we have certain democratic space in global north that we don't have in global south. So even being an activist in global south is more difficult than being an activist in global north. We know how many, each year almost more than 100 climate activists even gets killed in Latin America, specifically, just the whole. So when we know this, how these differences in global space is, democratic space varies across countries, that's when the whole global solidarity becomes very important. For me personally, I realized being in Germany gives me certain protection and certain freedom. And I thought, what can I do with that protection and freedom? And I thought, okay, then I can try to use this leverage to raise my voice, to kind of push my issue, and then create global solidarity and extend this relative power for the people and the grassroots who are fighting. And this, I think, is one of the most strongest thing of the global solidarity at this stage, what we can do.